Hello, San Ramon first graders. This is Phonics Unit 5, Session 8. For this lesson, you're going to need this paper. At the top it says Session 8. You're also going to need the word wall words that also say Session 8 on them, and these are those. I just cut them up already. Okay. You also might want in your packet at the back in the extras section, there's this paper called Holly Word, and you don't need it right now, but later on with this lesson, you might want to use this paper with your parents or with an older sibling or something to play with it, okay? And you might also want, in our session 10, we have all the word wall words from the kindergarten snap words. We have the first grade snap words, and then there's a personal snap word paper. So you might want to use these, but you don't need them right this second. You can use them later on today or tomorrow to play with your family. Today, right now, what you should have is this paper, and if you get a piece of paper and a pencil or a whiteboard, that would be great. Okay, so push pause and go get those things and come on back. Okay, so you should be back now. So today we're going to be talking, we've finished with our control words. Now we're going to be talking about how knowledge of snap words can help you and how certain words, have you ever noticed that like certain words are just really hard to remember how to spell, and you might spell them wrong all the time. Like every time you're writing, you're like, oh my gosh, I spelled that word wrong again. So I used to have a word like that. For me, it was the word said. And when I would spell said, I would think, oh, I would spell it the way it sounded. So I would spell said. Now, is that how said is spelled? No. So I had to learn. I had to give myself a little trick, a little rhyme in my brain to try to remember it, because this is not how it's spelled. So I would say, I know it starts with an S because someone says something, right? If someone said something, it meant they say it a long time ago, right? So said is the past tense. So they say, so S-A, so remember it has to have an A in it. So it has to be S-A, and then I remember I often say something that leads to said. So I, and then add a D at the end. Okay, so it's not S-E-D, it's S-A, like I say, and then say I. See? And then you add a D. That's just how I remembered it. You might have a different way that you can come up with, and that's okay. You're going to come up with different ways for different things. Let's look at 3 words. I want you to write these 3 words on your paper. You're going to write here, there, and where. Now, what do you notice about these 3 words that is the same? Look really, really carefully at these. What do you notice? You can push pause if you want to take a minute longer to really look at them. Okay, if you haven't figured it out yet, they all have H-E-R-E. Do you see this? Every single one of them has H-E-R-E. So the way you can remember that is, sorry, I had to look at something. There means, so what you can do is you can remember for each of these words, there's a here in all those words. There's a here in there. There's a here in where. So oftentimes we'll spell where accidentally. We'll spell it like were. But remember, there's a here. You have to have the H in there for where. And same thing for there. It's not there. It's there. There's a here in there. Does that make sense? So that's one way you can help yourself remember that. If you take out this paper right here, this shows an example of several that are really common ones to get messed up. Okay, now the bed one is one I like because I think a lot of you guys probably remember this from kindergarten. The word bed. Remember, if you take your fingers and you make a B and a D, you go like that and have your little sunglasses. And then if you remember which way a B goes, the bed goes like bed. So this is supposed to kind of look like a bed, right? This is the headboard of the bed. This is the base of the bed. So always remember, bed goes like this. You can add a little thing there. That's where the person sleeps, right, on that part. But that's the underneath part. So this is the headboard, this is the footboard. So it's bed, right? And that's how you can remember B and D too. That's what I always tell my class. Put your little sunglasses on and then look, there's your bed. Go to sleep in your bed, right? Okay, there and there. These are super tricky. Sorry, you can't see that. There and there. They sound exactly the same, but they mean very different things. So this there means a place, like put it over there. This there means someone owns something. So who? So who has an H in it, right? So that does too, sorry. Sorry guys. So to remember this one, that here is like where is a place where it has the here in it, right? This one is who, it's theirs, E-I-R, okay? So that's how you could remember that. So there, right, where, because there's here again. T-H-E-I-R means who. Okay, it belongs to somebody. So it's their dog, their house, their apartment, whatever it is, right? This is another common mistake, saw and was. A lot of times people will turn it around. They'll be meaning to write the word saw, but instead they wrote was. So the way to remember this was C-A-W. So S-A-W. You C-A-W. Saw. Okay, as opposed to was, which would start with a W. Okay, another word that really gets people confused sometimes, and it's one of our word wall words this week, is family. And some people remember this by saying father and mother. I love you. So let's look at these letters. F-A-M-I-L-Y. Father and mother, I love you. Okay, so that's just another little way you can remember a word. So what you can do is if you have other words that just really trouble you, you can totally find little mnemonic or rhymes like that help you remember it, okay? So what we're going to do now is, here's another one that really stumps people a lot, and I think we talked about it in my class, but I'm not sure about the other classes. The word because, the mnemonic device we use for this one is big elephants can always understand small elephants. You might say, what are you talking about, Mrs. Chasson? But if you look at the first letter of each word, B-E-C-A-U-S-E. So if you can remember that, big elephants can always understand small elephants, then you'll remember how to spell because. Another one we do with my class a lot is the word together. That seems to stump people sometimes. Together. So we say to get her. And I'll be honest with you, I even use that sometimes when I'm spelling that word. I'll say to myself, to get her. That's totally how I hear it now. So there are lots of fun games you can play, okay? And if you have a word, and it might not be the same word as my word, maybe your word's a different word, maybe your word is who, I don't know what it is. So if there's a word that really gets you a lot, play this game because it's a good way to go. All right, now I have another thing for us to do. This is a bunch, these are the word wall words for this time. Now this game that you could play, this is called Holly Word. I knew that was gonna happen. Sorry guys, this thing is not very stable. It's called Holly Word. And what it's in the back of your phonics packet. It has extra at the top, okay? And it's clues, and you can do any word you want with this. So this is a game you can play with your parents. You can play it with an older or younger sibling. So what you do is this. The person who's asking the question chooses a word. So let's pretend I choose the word, let's see here, of all these words. What if I choose, I'm not doing a good job of thinking about a good word to choose. So here,